The creator economy is shifting beyond advertising.
Build my audience on social, but I build my business on Kajabi.
In the latest episode of The Business of Creators, Kajabi CEO Ahad Khan reveals to me how creators are building empires through their own digital products.
I got a lot of followers, I get a lot of likes, I get a lot of comments. Those are great kind of dopamine indicators of, oh, cool, people like what I'm putting out there. But it wasn't translating into income.
We discuss the entrepreneurs revolutionizing creator commerce, from beekeepers to doctors, turning expertise into their businesses by launching courses, communities, and coaching programs.
Build a landing page and see if people sign up for what you're putting out there. We always say just get started.
Welcome to a new series called Creator Commerce. Before we get into the show, let's discuss your digital identity. Kajabi is renowned for powering online businesses, but no matter which platform you use, your brand as a creator deserves a web address that speaks volumes. And that's where .store domain names come in. A .store domain name isn't just any web address, it's a branded URL you own that instantly tells your audience, this is where I sell. Unlike the long forgettable URLs platforms provide by default, your yourname.store domain name stays with you and your audience even if you change platforms. With up to 2 times more organic visibility and nearly 90% more clicks, this meaningful URL establishes intent at the very first sight and enables visitors to put trust in your brand. Top Kajabi creators like Colin and Samir have embraced .store domain names for their web addresses, and now you can too. Secure yours today at this link in the description. Right, let's get on with the show. So today on the podcast, I'm joined by Ahad from Kajabi. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, and I really appreciate it.
I'm really excited to get into the rebrand and the new identity in your recent event, but let's just kick off. Can you explain to everybody listening, what is Kajabi?
Yeah, Kajabi is a creator commerce platform where we enable creators to build businesses that they own and control. So what we mean by that is you think about ways to make money online and in the digital sphere. Like a lot of creators know about social media platforms, they know about YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, which are fantastic places to build audiences. But as creators become more sophisticated and start thinking about themselves as entrepreneurs and business owners, where we have been building a platform and continue to build a platform that enables them to build income and livelihood around what they love doing. And most of our creators are on the industry of knowledge, experience, and expertise. But at the end of the day, we're a creator commerce platform.
Got it. And what do you think are the biggest challenges that creators are facing right now? And how is Kajabi positioning itself to address those?
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think creators in the creator economy, it's really early in the ecosystem. And I know everybody kind of uses this analogy, but I really believe it. It's super early. And the thing that we've been really encouraged on is the evolution of the industry, right? So at first it was, I just want exposure, right? There was a lot of, in exposure, there's a lot of kind of, sometimes you get false metrics around, I got a lot of followers, I get a lot of likes, I get a lot of comments. Those are great kind of dopamine indicators of, oh, cool, people like what I'm putting out there. But it wasn't translating into income for a lot of creators who wanted to do this full time and wanted to take it a bit more seriously. And so what we found over the last couple of years is creators are getting much more sophisticated, and the evolution is happening where they're at the point where they're like, man, I really want to be I want to teach people how to play the guitar or do their taxes or how to learn beekeeping. I want to do this full time, but doing this just on social media doesn't help me pay the bills. I have to find other ways for myself to make an income here. And companies like Kajabi, which we're really proud of, power that kind of entrepreneurship for creators who want to build a newsletter, who want to build a course, build a community, get into coaching. Those digital products are built on Kajabi, and your ability to distribute those digital products to your audience is actually built in Kajabi as well. And obviously, really importantly, is that ability to engage in commerce is all built into Kajabi. And what that does is takes, that beekeeping family in Australia who's been trying to build on YouTube and get de minimis payouts from the platform, actually turns them into entrepreneurs and successful entrepreneurs, because they can build 6-7 figure businesses doing that. And it's a really tremendous place to be a part of that ecosystem. So we're really proud of it.
I love it. And You say it's really early, but Kajabi's already paid out 8 billion to creators. What
Totally.
are some of the patterns that you see with creators that are successful on the platform at the moment?
Yeah, I think there's a psychology around the creators who are best on Kajabi that I think, again, it's that evolution of what I've seen in the creator economy. They start to think of themselves as business owners and entrepreneurs. And when you think about yourself as business owners and entrepreneurs, you start thinking about marketing and you start thinking about how to build funnels and how to, think about your business like, I'm going to put some really good content out on YouTube, for example, which is a great platform for a lot of reasons. But I'm going to start thinking about the people who engage with my content on YouTube at the top of my funnel. And then I'm going to start, um, migrating those customers over into an ecosystem that I control or develop a direct relationship with them, right? Which is really how do I get their email address? So then I can interact with them directly. I'm not dependent on a third party platform that can turn me on and off for the algorithm changes and something happens. But if I get their email address, all of a sudden I can have a direct relationship with them. And then I can have them subscribe to my newsletter. I can put them in a community of mine. I can start providing more value to them. And value at the end of the day, usually for us, has a hey, pay X amount of dollars for access to my newsletter. Could be de minimis, but what it does is it creates for the entrepreneur, for the creator, an opportunity to build livelihood around what they're putting out there. But I think the biggest transition is for creators to stop thinking about themselves as purely entertainment or entertainers and take themselves more seriously and their businesses and put themselves out there to be like, okay, cool. You love what I'm doing. That's awesome. Here's something of more value, but I want to engage in some kind of transaction. And that piece, I think, is a more of a psychology and a little bit of like I'm worth something. We want creators to kind of continue to go down that path of like I shouldn't just give it out for free. I should earn something from it too. And that's been really positive to see. We love doing that on Kajabi.
Makes absolute sense. And can you share some success stories of creators on the platform and what they've been doing and some of the
Oh,
things they've created? That'd be great to hear.
oh my gosh, where do I start? Right? Like we have, it's really cool at Kajabi because at the end of the day, our entrepreneurs, our creators, we call them our heroes. Um, they are doing the most esoteric, random stuff on the internet, but they have niche audiences, and they know their niche audiences so well that they're able to build successful businesses because of that. So I can start with an example of a company called Taking Care of Babies. They teach new parents how to sleep train their kids. If you're not a parent or not thinking about kids, you don't know them. If you are thinking about having kids or have kids, you know them. And what they do is they're just fantastic. First of all, they're fantastic like entrepreneurs, but they build a really big social media following. They get a lot of word of mouth going for new parents, talk to new parents, talk to new parents. It creates this like viral effect. And they provide a really fantastic service in bite-sized increments and courses that provide a lot of value to new parents to help sleep train their kids. Like that's a huge problem that they solve really, really well. And it's like a fantastic business, right? We can go like across the ecosystem. There's like that family, like a thing is called Honey Flow. They teach like a specific type of beekeeping. I think it's a family in Australia. It's really, really cool. Like, again, I'm not a beekeeper. When I checked them out, I was like, this is awesome. And they have a really successful business. We have bigger name YouTubers like we had Ali Abdaal on the platform, right? He was an ex UK, like a Cambridge educated physician in the NHS in the UK, was building a YouTube following around, hey, how do you get into med school? People started getting really interested in like his productivity tools. Now I think he has just maybe 5 million YouTube followers, and he built a product on Kajabi, made like I think $4 or $5 million his first year on Kajabi. That's an example. Somebody puts a lot, and it was called a part-time YouTuber Academy, teaching people how to build on YouTube. And he had this really good brand because he did that. So there's just like so many, like tens of thousands of really cool examples of creators and heroes that we power. And if you can imagine, it's a really fun place to spend your working days.
Yeah, absolutely. And are there particular industries or niches that are particularly successful, or is it more the type of content? Is it knowledge sharing that tends to do particularly well?
I think it is. It's the industries of like knowledge, experience, and expertise. Like that's the broadening, but that is such a wide horizontal world, right? It can be how to edit videos, is one part of it. Another part of it can be I have a coach who's coaching me on how to change my career or personal development. We have ex product managers who work at some of the biggest technology companies who teach people how to get jobs at those technology companies. And what it really is at the end of the day, it's creators and entrepreneurs who have been able to build a brand around what they've done in their life. As a result of building a brand, they've successfully built an audience because people look at them and be like, wow, you've done X. I'm interested in what you've done. And when you've built an audience and you have a brand, the entrepreneurial side of them turns on. It's like, okay, cool. I have a opportunity to provide value into the world. Like, let's build a business, right? So, it's just fantastic. Like, it's been really really fun, really cool.
Great. And you talk about brand there, and Kajabi's just been through a big rebrand recently. I've seen it everywhere on my social media, on LinkedIn. Can you walk us through that and what was the rationale and inspiration behind it?
Yeah. So it really starts with our customers, right? And when you look at the brand, it's an updated visual identity. So like new colors, new fonts, new logo, all those things, which are you see them visually, like you're on a website now. It looks very different than it did before. What we try to imbue or embed in our brand is kind of the customer journey of entrepreneurship, right? So when you look at Kajabi, you look at the K has this kind of up and down version of it. It's to represent like again, the entrepreneurial journey. Some days will be awesome, some days will be terrible. But it represents that. The colors are also kind of to represent the optimism of what entrepreneurship is about. Like this like kind of orangey red color that is like the sun rising every morning. And that's to represent that dynamic of, all right, it's the next day, you got to get up and you got to go do it. If you're going to do what our creators do, you have to be optimistic about what you're building. So that's inherent in the brand now. And we wanted to tell that story a bit more explicitly than we had before, but we also want to evangelize creator commerce, right? Which is a category that we think creators should start understanding and kind of investing in. And the analogy we use is like you think about e-commerce. Everybody knows what e-commerce is, right? And the historical players in e-commerce were Amazon and eBay a lot back in the day, and other sites where there were marketplaces where you could sell goods online. Shopify came in and we're like, look, there's marketplaces, or we can power you, the entrepreneur, to go direct to your audiences with a really fantastic e-commerce platform, right? And so if you go to Allbirds, you go to Skims, you go to whatever, you have no idea that it's actually powered by Shopify. Like that's a really cool thing where those brands are able to develop and own audiences and drive traffic on their own without the reliance on Amazon and eBay. We think that same dynamic should happen for creators, right? So it's not the analogy is kind of like what YouTube and these places are awesome places to find audience. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't spend time there, but we think about it like an and. It should be and you should build a Kajabi site. So if you were doing it, it would be like instead of on YouTube, it's like youtube.com/Ian, for example. Your Kajabi site would be ianshepherd.com. It's yours, you own it, it's your brand, it's your user experience, it's all your own content, it's whatever you want. When you have products on there, it's your pricing and packaging. And when you make revenue on there, it's your revenue, right? So we don't take a cut of your revenue. It's like really owned and operated by yourself. And so if you're a creator who's entrepreneurial, you're like, this is really cool. Like I build my audience on socials, but I build my business on Kajabi and I build my brand on Kajabi. That is what we're trying to evangelize to the world. So we wanted to take the rebrand as a moment to start telling those stories a little bit more. So when you go and even look at our rebrand, it always starts with the creator story first and then Kajabi behind it. That's how we think about our business as well.
I love it. That makes absolute sense. And how did you involve the Kajabi creator community in the rebrand?
Yeah, it's a tough one. So we the cool thing about I've been the CEO of I've been at Kajabi for almost 5 years now. Like I talk to customers like every day, like about everything. So I have a lot of like institutional knowledge about what their journeys are like. When we did the rebrand, we wanted it to be a surprise kind of for everybody,
Okay.
but we wanted again for it to represent their journey. So it's embedded just by that thinking of that story I was telling you. Like that's how we know their journeys are. So we made sure that represented it. But when we did the rebrand, it's always like a little scary, right? People love Kajabi. Like, like you said, we've powered $8 billion of creator revenue on the platform since inception. When you power that much revenue for people, or frankly, they earned it and we just were a part of it. They love the brand. And so they loved what Kajabi was, what it represented. We had this like blue colors and the K and it looked a certain way. We were all like any good company paranoid and scared about, man, our customer base is going to kind of hate the rebrand. We've got really, really, really positive feedback, right? Because I think we wanted to tell their story about what they've been doing to the world. And I think when you tell them that and you kind of go through that thinking and that thoroughness and that detail, I think they really respect the thoughtfulness of it. And so while we didn't include them in like every step of the way, we were thinking about them every step of the way. And the way it was received was really positive. So we're really happy about that.
That's great. I understand it. And I love the fact that you call the creators heroes and you have an event, Kajabi Heroes Live. What was the initial vision for that event and how's it evolved over the years?
Yeah, it's I give huge credit to our founder, a guy named Kenny Reeder, founder of the company. He like it's everybody says they're customer centric, but I don't think there is any other company out there who's customer centric. We call it hero centric, and that language is to represent like at the end of the day, these people are inspiring us to go and do things on their behalf. So that hero dynamic of like you get inspiration by heroes, that was a very deliberate usage of that word. The Kajabi Hero Live event, with the first one we did was it was called Impact Summit in 2019. So this is pre-pandemic. And so what we were really trying to do there is get our customers together, get them, it's a community. Like if you think about a creator's life, like it can be very lonesome. You're sometimes at home, kind of by yourself, doing all this work, and you don't really get to interact with other people who are like-minded, who are kind of in the same ups and downs of what you're going through. But what we try to do is create a digital community. We have a Kajabi hero community online that we have tens of thousands of our customers, our heroes interact with each other. We wanted to take that and turn it into something that's in real life, right? They get to meet each other in real life. They get to network in real life. They get to learn from each other in real life. The Kajabi employees get to see who they service. That's inspirational. But we also bring together some of the industry's best teachers, and everybody learns tools on marketing, how to build on YouTube, what works for content creation, what are different systems and techniques to help people scale. Like it's this combination of learning plus fun plus networking plus just like for our employees seeing who you've built for in real life. That is what we call it magic. So Kajabi Hero Live is we did it in Los Angeles about 2 weeks ago. We did it in Austin last year. Pre-pandemic, we did it in Irvine. It's going to be something we do annually here going forward. It's a big event for us.
Sounds great. I know how lonely it can be for creators sometimes. And you said that the one a couple of weeks ago, were there any standout sessions from that or takeaways?
I mean, it's hard to choose. One of our creators, a guy named Justin Welsh. I think he's the biggest LinkedIn creator there is. He, like because of that, he has a lot of cachet, right? So when Justin says something, everybody kind of perks up and listens. So he went through his kind of content creation system and how he thinks about it and his schedules and how to think about written content and like just the whole strategy behind it. It was amazing. It was like going to university for content creation. Like truly, it was like it's super even not even, especially at Kajabi, we were like, we need to replicate a lot of this stuff. And it was great if he was sharing it with us. He's like, this isn't some IP that I don't want you all to see. Here's my transparent playbook. Go put it to work for your business. So that just transparency is so awesome for our community, but even for us at Kajabi. We have Colin and Samir, who are fantastic YouTube creators, come in and talk about how they build on YouTube. What do they think about it? Like, again, it's this opportunity to kind of learn from the best in a very intimate environment. And so, the list goes on and on and on, but those are two places where I was like perked up and listening quite a bit. And it was super insightful. And then also like just the hallway conversations you have. It's like, one creator says something and I follow up with them while I'm walking through the hallway being like, hey, this is really cool. Like, what do you mean by this? And how does this apply to your business? It's not just the big names, kind of one to many conversations. There are all these micro conversations that happen in the hallway when you get people together in real life. That was really fascinating and a lot of fun for us.
Great. It sounds a lovely event. And
That was
let's talk
great. You
about the
should come
future.
next year.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to. I want to. Uh, let's talk about the future. What do you think the future of the creator economy looks like in maybe 3 years, and how will Kajabi be playing a role in it?
Yeah, there's a really good report that Goldman Sachs puts out about the size of the creator economy. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've seen it. It's a $250 billion industry going to, I think, half a trillion by 2027, something like that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's fascinating because if you look at that pie chart of how people are making money right now, most of it is brand deals. I think it's like 70% are like brand deals. And what I think is going to happen in the future is brand deals are still going to be a huge part of it. But when you look at the pie going from 250 to 500 billion, the percentage of brand deals is going to go down a little bit. And what I mean by that is going to provide opportunities for people to build audiences and go direct to the audiences with product that we're very excited about, right? Because we think the sophistication of creators is improving. They know that brand deals are great when marketing budgets are big. They're really tough when marketing budgets are pulled, right? And if you're trying to build an independent business, having that kind of volatility is not great. So we believe that what's going to happen is that people are going to do brand deals when they're great, but also build these sustainable businesses that they own and control that help them make money kind of while they sleep. So you're not just dependent on creating content and putting some kind of brand partnership in that, but you're building a newsletter that you write every week that you can charge for and that creates income for yourself on your own terms. Think about a course or a community, just ways that you can monetize your brand and your knowledge, experience, and expertise directly. We just think that's going to take more of the pie in the future. But the pie itself is essentially doubling over the next 3, 4 years, which we're very, very excited about. I'm sure you probably have this question lined up, but we think about AI quite a bit too, and what that's going to happen, or what's going to happen with that. And our view on it is actually pretty exhilarating. What I think is going to happen is, and I think it's already happening. Not, I think it's going to happen. Like the content creation is going to become commoditized, right? Like, I think what in a world where content and everything is commoditized, really, really easy to create, right? Brands are going to matter a lot more. So what's going to end up happening is that people who have like done things or accomplished things are able be able to build audiences because they have credibility. And when you build an audience, you have credibility. You're essentially building a brand. And then what the content you put out there is going to have a lot more impact and meaning than Joe Schmo, who's just putting stuff out there because ChatGPT lets him create content really quickly, right? So we think the power of brand and creator brand creation and ownership is going to matter a lot in the future because we think content creation is going to make all the words sound the same, but you're going to want to end up learning from the best who've accomplished things. And again, we think Kajabi is really positioned for that because at our core is that we power creator brands to build businesses. And so we're very excited for that piece as well. So the future is super interesting and super fluid, but those are kind of some of the themes we think are going to happen over the next, 5 to 10 years, which hopefully we take part of quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, that makes absolute sense. And you read my mind with the next question. Very wise words there you shared. Before we wrap up, I'd love to ask you, what advice would you give for creators that are just starting out or looking to begin the journey with Kajabi?
Yeah, I would. We always say just get started, right? And what I mean by that is when a lot of people come to Kajabi and they spend a lot of time making sure their website is pixel perfect or their community assets and all the templates and stuff are like beautiful. Craft really matters. So at the end of the day, we take that stuff quite seriously as well. But for us, a lot of it is get started means validate an idea that you have. Like build a landing page and see if people sign up for what you're putting out there. Like I want to build a community on how to podcast. Is there market signal to tell you, yes, you should go invest in that? Or is there market signal to tell you, no, there's not a lot of demand from your audience right now, but put another idea out there and you get a lot of people to give you your email address. That's the first innings of, hey, there's people who will sign up, tells me that I should go build this. And then after that, go build. So again, it's that like entrepreneurial kind of shift of like content really matters. Obviously, you have to have fantastic content to build a business, but you want to validate the ideas you have before you go spend 6 months building a course that then nobody shows up to take, right? That is kind of one of the things that I always caution people on is like validate your idea, make sure there's a market for it before you go spend time, money, energy building it. Because at the end of the day, if people aren't going to interact with it and you're trying to build a business, that's a bad formula. So we're always, our main thing is get started. And for our product team, it's help people get started. So what are the first 10 steps a creator should do who comes to Kajabi? We kind of try and guide you along that path to make sure that we increase the likelihood of your success. Because at the end of the day, for us, our creator success means our success. And so that alignment is really, really core to our business.
Got it. And to use that entrepreneurial analogy, it's like testing an MVP for an entrepreneur, but with content.
Totally. Totally.
Excellent.
I mean, I think that's exactly right.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm excited to see the 10 billion and to follow the journey. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks so much for the time. Really appreciate it. And thanks and good luck. And hopefully we see a Kajabi Hero live next year.